and welcome to episode number 138 of Window Treatment Friday Live. And if you are new to this broadcast, it is a window treatment focused series that has been running for the last 3 years, where usually my colleague and I pick apart a window treatment topic ranging anywhere from drapery panels, valances, lift systems, mounting systems, challenging windows, installations, and everything in between. We pick it apart, put it back together, and in the process, hope to give you some education and inspiration. Now, I said that I usually do it with my colleague. Her name is Kimberly Seraphim, and she is part owner of Window Works New Jersey in Livingston, North Jersey. But for the last couple of months, she has been home with her new baby girl. So she's on maternity leave, but we are expecting her to come back very, very soon. And I miss her terribly, but until then, I'm flying solo. And today, I want to tell you about a recent, a very successful, and very special installation that we completed here at Vitalia Inc. So, again, also for those new to the broadcast, my name is Vida. I am the owner of Vitalia Inc. Window Treatments. We are a one stop shop and go to resource, a comprehensive white glove concierge level service exclusively for luxury interior designers ready to fly first class in the world of custom window treatments. And I am your co host of this series, which we lovingly dub WTF. And no, no, it is not what you're thinking right now. It stands for Window Treatment Friday. It is a live broadcast that we do every Friday at 9 a.m. on all social media channels, platforms simultaneously. So hopefully you can see me now on Instagram, you can see me on Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. Hallelujah to modern technologies. So, and if you ever want to watch the replays of any of these episodes, again, this is today is number 138, and we have been doing this for close to 3 years. If you've missed any of the past episodes, there's a great, rich library of past topics, and all of them you can find either on my website, vitaliainc.com, or on my YouTube channel under the same name. So, without further ado, let me walk you through one of the recent installs that we did. So I'm going to toggle over to the presentation. I will get reduced down and let me go back to the very first slide. I guess I was playing around with it prior to the start of the broadcast. So what is special about this install is that it is not local to us. We are located in Bucks County, Ridgeboro to be exact. We service the entire tri-state area, which is Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey. We go all over, all the way down to New Jersey Shore, but we also service some remote areas as well for some of our very special clients. So, for example, last year we went all the way up to New Hampshire to do a beautiful install for a very special client. We traveled down to Palm Beach, Florida. We've gone over to the west as far as Pittsburgh. We go up to Rhode Island, Boston, and this particular install was done in West Virginia. Yep, not close at all. It's about a 6 hour drive. And yes, for those special clients with special projects, we absolutely will travel and support our designers and our clients on all things window treatments and related products. So this particular client came to me because we actually know each other. We are dancing colleagues and friends through the dance studio that we both belong to. And she has been building a beautiful custom home in West Virginia. Now, for those who may be familiar with the area or have traveled down there, that specific town and that area is famous for its very well-known hotel and destination point called Greenbrier. It is a huge historic building, hotel where a lot of conferences take place, a lot of weddings. So it's an event venue for a lot of weddings and other events of this sort, as well as a hotel also. So it is a beautiful mountainous area, and my friend and dancing colleague has decided to build her own forever custom home there. And we were privileged and honored to have been asked to help her and support her with her window treatments. So here is one of the rooms that I wanted to show you. So what I want to mention is that this client of ours also worked with an interior designer, a local interior designer, and that firm is Barbara Giesel Design. I would love for you to follow them on all the social media channels, and on Instagram they are under handle of BGD Ltd, Barbara Giesel Design Ltd. So it is the Barbara Giesel's team, and specifically we worked with Jenny, who helped this client of ours to select the fabrics. And then all together we worked on selecting the proper treatments for the rooms, the shades, the styles, and the proper installations as well. So this is one of the beautiful rooms. You can see the gorgeous view outside of that really interesting bay window. It is a triple bay window, just like any other would be, but then it kind of on the right sort of steps down into another single window there. And so what we wanted to do here is just frame it at the top and also give a little bit of privacy with the shades. So you will see in a lot of these pictures, a lot of these have two-layer treatments on them. They have a shade, a roller shade, inside the window frame, and you can see how handsomely beautiful these window frames are. And I know this client and her husband had spent a lot of energy and a lot of thought has been put into those windows. So here at Natalia Inc., not only were we very honored and privileged to do these treatments for her, but there was also a lot of pressure and a lot of responsibility to have this honor, because knowing how long it had taken them to build the house, how much effort, how many resources, how much time and love and care that has been put into the whole house, and particularly into those windows. So back to the window treatments, you can see the light filtering shades. And yes, even though this is a bedroom, the client did not want to have the light blocking shades here. She wanted the light filtering, which means that she can still see the view, the beautiful, gorgeous views that they have in this entire house. And then we wanted to just frame the bay window at the top with a very pretty valance. This particular one is called a mock Roman valance, and we will see it later in the presentation too, because we had taken this style across many windows in this house. It is a mock Roman because it's made look as if it were a Roman shade stacked up onto the window and just permanently kind of placed there. And it's interestingly juxtaposed next to that small singular window on the right where we did put in the shade itself. Now, you might wonder, why is it that we have the valance and the roller shades on the big window and the Roman shade on the small window? And that is because you may see behind that chandelier there is that there's a big wooden beam that comes right up to the window. So there was no space for us to put any kind of valance or any kind of topper at the top, but we still wanted to have that beautiful, pretty fabric that the client and the designer had picked out. So this is another example. Kim and I talk about it a lot. We say that it's okay to have different styles in the same room and even in the windows that are next to each other. And so here is an example of how we have a valance at the top of the window on the bay window and a Roman shade inside the window on the smaller window. And this is that same room we had taken by the before picture. We had taken a trip down there, yes, the 6 hour ride to take the measurements of all the windows and make sure that we fabricate everything very precisely and very specifically. And in the custom window treatment world, these measurements do have to be extremely precise. We take them down to 1/8 of an inch. And we have had instances where either it's possible we have made a mistake by 1/8 of an inch, or there was some sort of addition that was made inside the window jamb, and that addition has been as small as a tile that got installed on the inside of the jamb, or even smaller. One time we had an instance where there was wallpaper installed on the inside of the window jamb, and the shade did not fit inside. And that's how precise our measurements have to be. Let me show you another example. You can see the same kind of theme of beautiful wooden frames around the windows that kind of transcends the entire house. You see beautiful wooden crown molding at the top. So you can see how much thought that went into this. And again, those gorgeous views through the windows. So this was the before picture, and this is the after picture. And so this is a different room, of course. I mean, different than from the first two sets, the first set of the two pictures. And here we did also roller shades on the inside of the windows to provide a little bit, not that they didn't need privacy necessarily, but just to cut down on the glare, but mostly to cut down on the darkness at night, so that you're not looking and staring into the black holes that the windows look like in the middle of the night or in the evening. So to kind of break that up and make it a little bit more warming and more warm and inviting. So we included these roller shades. And then on the outside of the window on the left, you're seeing two drapery panels. And on the window on the right, we did that same style, the mock Roman, straight, tailored valance with the shade inside as well. And here's a little bit of a close-up of this picture. You can see this fabric is really, really cool. It's very kind of mountainy, very rustic, very foresty. There are some pheasants. We called it the pheasant fabric. We walked around the workroom for a couple of months and just really kind of laughing together and really admiring this beautiful, gorgeous fabric with a very strong and large pattern of the flora and fauna of the forest and the mountains. So it was just really a perfect selection that the client and Barbara Giesel team, Jenny specifically, had made. And actually, a funny story, funny, not haha, it would have not have been haha, but we kind of look back and joke about it a little bit now. We have taken the last of this available fabric from the vendor. Jenny had put it on reserve, and we went back and forth a little bit on the style and the fullness of the drapes and exactly how to do it. And that, of course, takes a little bit of time. And I remember Jenny coming back saying, we have to make a decision now, because this fabric, if it comes off of hold, then somebody else may snatch it, and there's no more of this fabric available. It was being discontinued permanently. So I believe Jenny had to extend the hold a couple of times, maybe even 3 times. But finally and eventually, we just, the client has bought up the entire leftover stock of this fabric. That's how perfect it is for this house and for this situation. And here is that same room that we just saw before, but more of a full view of this. Prior to that, you just saw the 2 windows by the chase, and now you're seeing the beautiful corner window there too. So the same beautiful pheasant fabric. The hardware here is really cool. It is a French return hardware. In case you're not familiar with what French returns are, it is a bar that goes across at the top of the window and then curves over towards the wall at the 90-degree angle. Kim and I actually did a whole episode. If you scroll back through our episodes, you'll see there's a whole episode specifically on French return hardware, as well as I think there's a couple of on hardware in general. So French return here was really kind of understated and minimalistic. The client did not want, and we agreed that we didn't want any finials or any kind of um, anything else to take away from the hardware, the view, and the fabric too. So again, here you see the roller shades and inside the windows, and then the drapery panels. They're stationary, they don't move. They're just flanking the windows, making the whole room a little warmer, a little more inviting. The texture, the color makes it really nice and finished. So here is a little bit of a close-up just of that corner window. So interesting little detail there. The hardware in the corner had to be connected with a certain elbow connector. It's not like the two bars just come together and don't finish off nicely. When you have a project like that and this much responsibility, every single detail counts. And here at Vitalia Inc., as well as WindowWorks, Kim and the WindowWorks entire team, we all take really good care and really a lot of thinking that goes into all the little details that go into custom window treatments. And that little corner with two little brackets there and with the elbow bracket that you don't really see necessarily, but that's how the two bars, the two rods are connected inside. So I'm going to flick back for a second because I want to take a quick commercial break to tell you about a couple of gifts that both Kim and I have for you. So if you're a retail customer and you are new to the window treatment game and you're wondering what's involved, what do I need to know, what kind of pitfalls maybe to avoid, just wanted to get a general 101 kind of education, you have a special report that you can grab on windowworksnewjersey.com. It is called 10 Things to Know About Custom Window Treatments. So make sure that if you are new and just learning, I wanted to get a brief understanding that you take a look at that report. And if you are an interior designer, or a retail customer looking for ideas. You have a certain window, you have a certain situation, and you're just wondering, what are some ideas that are available to me? We have put together a special curated lookbook filled with inspiration and education also. It is called 37 and a half window treatment ideas for you to steal, swipe, and use immediately on your next interior design project. And you can grab this gift on my website, which is vitaliainc.com. So back to this special project. This was a first floor bathroom, another corner window. There are a lot of corner windows in this house. Again, just showcasing these gorgeous, gorgeous mountainous views. So this is what it looked like before with the bare windows. And this is what it looked like with roller shades. So because of the bathtub, these roller shades are motorized, which means there is a motor inside the headrail of the shade. There is a remote control that is available to the customer to press the button and the shade goes up or down at will. So she doesn't have to climb onto the counter. She doesn't have to climb inside the bathtub to operate any of these, just really nice and easy and convenient. And I do have to mention that motorization has been all the rage for the last 3, 4, 5 years, perhaps even longer. And now even things like full home automation is really in and trending and definitely available to those consumers who want that. And with the prevalence of Alexa or Google, what's that thing called? Anyway, the voice activated devices, these motors can be programmed to integrate with these devices. And you can say, Alexa, lower my blinds, Alexa, lift my shades. And through the voice commands, they will get activated. Now there's a special software and a special app and a special little gadget that needs to be plugged in and programmed and integrated. You don't have to know any of that, but what I would love for you to take away is all of that is possible. So if you're an interior designer or a homeowner, listening to this, or a window treatment pro too, my colleagues, my peeps, I don't want to forget you ever, know that a lot of these shades are most of all of these shades, I should say, are available with some sort of motor control, and most of them are available through smart devices control too, where you can not just control it through the remote by standing in the room, but you can be in a different room, different part of the house, and oftentimes different town, state. You can just control all of that through the app on your phone. And this is how smart all of these things are. So another angle here of this gorgeous bathtub. I mean, I would just love to take a bath in here and just look out in the mountains and be at peace and zen, just enjoy the beauty and take it all in. So I'm like so super, super happy for this client of mine. I've known her for, I want to say about 10 years or so. We have been part of the same dance studio, even competed in a couple of competitions together. And she is so lovely and so kind and generous and sharing, and just was so really humbled to have been asked to help her on this project. So very, very happy to have done that. So want to click back for a second and take another commercial break because I want to give you a little bit of a background on how this series started. If you have been watching for a while, you know that 3 years ago during the pandemic, Kim and I got together and said, okay, what can we do to keep the momentum going while we were all in lockdown? What can we do to continue the education? What can we do to continue interacting with our clients, with our people, with everybody in our industry? And so we decided to come up with this series and show you all sorts of different pictures and visual representation of all the work that we have done. But where it originally started, some of you OGs may or maybe not know, is that the original idea for Window Treatment Friday started with Luann and I. And I know that you know who Luann Nigara is, but just on an off chance that you've been living under a rock, she is the person to know in the window treatment and interior design industry. She is a sought after coach, speaker, podcaster. And so it is on her podcast that we started the Window Treatment Friday series. And there we talk mostly about the business aspects of the window treatment business. And then Kim and I took that idea and brought it over into the more visual arenas and platforms like YouTube and Instagram and all the social media platforms. But if one podcast wasn't enough, Luann, who does not sit still and has more energy than you and I and all of us listening, and anyone who will ever listen and watch this episode combined, she decided to start another podcast. The first podcast, A Well-Designed Business, is for the interior designer, and it's all about how to run a better interior design business. Her second podcast is called Window Treatment for Profit, and this one, as the name suggests, is all for the window treatment professional, whether you are a workroom, an installer, a vendor, a retailer, a shop at home pro, whatever your role is in the window treatment industry, this podcast is for you, and it's all about how to run a better window treatment business. And the reason that I bring it up, besides the fact that I want the world to know about both podcasts that Luann runs, but also because I have been honored and privileged and humbled to have been asked to do a recurring guest seat on this podcast. So my series comes out every Thursday morning, and we call it Vita's Tip in 10. It is a short and quick and to the point 10-minute tip that I give you to inspire, to educate, to set you off on your path to run a better business and on with your day. So make sure wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure to check both of them out. And I would love to hear what you think about, especially my series, Vita's Tip in 10. All right, another room. This one is the piano room downstairs on the first floor. You can see there are cars out there. And this is another corner window. lots of corner windows in this house. So a little perhaps a slightly darker picture because it was before, and this is the after now with the piano there too. So we are continuing with the theme of doing the light filtering roller shades. We wanted to make sure that her beautiful floors are protected, the frames of the windows are protected, the piano is protected. So we do have those roller shades here. And then at the top, to finish off the room and the window and make it look beautiful and pretty, we have this mock Roman valance. It has small pleats at the bottom. Again, it's called mock Roman is because it is meant to look as if it were a Roman shade, just stacked up at the top and left there permanently. This was actually a pretty complicated situation because anytime you have a corner window and you install on the outside of the window, so not so much on the inside when you're inside the frame, but when you install on the outside of the window, you have to take extremely careful measurements. And then you have to take what are called deductions for the boards onto which the valances are mounted. So we are very lucky here at Vitalia Inc. We have an in-house installer. So not a contractor, not an outside person, but an in-house employee. His name is Lenny, who is absolutely wonderful and terrific. He was the one who drove down to take the original measurements. He was the one who installed this whole job. He was also the one who cut the boards and took the proper deductions to make sure that the fit of these valances is perfect. Now, I can tell you that pretty early in my career, when I didn't understand what deductions were, and I didn't understand how tricky bay and also corner windows can be, I would just take full width of the one window, full width of the other window, and that's how I would cut the boards and make the valance, just to arrive to the install and realize that it doesn't work, it doesn't fit, it doesn't look good. And that's when I learned about the deductions. Now, it's a little bit more of a technical concept to explain here on this broadcast, which is meant to really more for inspiration and some eye candy. But I know those window treatment pros listening to me now, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And I bet one of the reasons that you know exactly is perhaps you have made the same mistake that I have made. Here's the full-on picture of that same room, same valance. You can see a lot of these colors in the fabrics are very rich, very rustic. There are a lot of rusts, a lot of kind of oranges and yellows, a lot of greens. So again, this is not a cosmopolitan, a metropolitan house. This is definitely not a like a modern house. It is a beautiful, custom built, gorgeous, huge mountain. I want to say lodge, but it is lodge. I don't think lodge is even does it justice. It is just a gorgeous house that is set in the mountains with beautiful views, and everything in it, the furniture, the style, the window treatment styles, the colors, the textures, the fabrics, all have to pay homage to what this house is. And that, my friends, is our show for today. So I hope that you enjoyed my little presentation of a special install that we did just a couple of weeks ago. And before I let you go, I want to give you the contact information for my friend Kimberly. If you've just joined, Kim is my usual co-pilot here, but she is on maternity leave, so I am flying solo. But I would be remiss to not give you her contact information in case you are a retail consumer or an interior designer who lives or operates in North Jersey. WindowWorks New Jersey is based out of Livingston. So if you are in the New York metro area, you definitely want to contact WindowWorks for your custom window treatment needs. Their phone number, email, handle on Instagram, make sure to follow them everywhere and check out their work. It is beautiful. And if you are in the greater Philadelphia area, and you have a window treatment need, then I hope that you contact us. You have our phone number, email, DM, PM us, whichever way works for you. We are a one-stop shop, your go-to resource, VIP level, concierge level white glove service exclusively for interior designers ready to fly first class in the world of custom window treatments. So if you are in this area or you're that special customer who may have an occasional project someplace else for a second or a third house, we would be thrilled and honored to help you with all of it. So that is our show, you guys. Please join us here every Friday morning on whichever social media you prefer: Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. We would love to have you join us. Ask us questions live if you want. If you have a situation that you're not sure what to do with, anything challenging, anything that is on your mind that has to do with window treatments, we will take a look, we will pick it apart, we will put it back together, and in the process, hopefully, we'll give you some inspiration and education. So, you guys, if it's Friday, it is WTF. No, it's not what you think it is. Window Treatment Friday Live. Join us here for next episode, number 139, and all the ones thereafter. And until then, have a great weekend and thank you for watching. Bye bye.